to India and Ireland, round Africa and back again. We don't really need to know just where we'll go. Maybe Canada, then to Brazil, then through the Alpine foothills. All I really want to know is, can we go? Oh baby, can we go? Round and around the globe.
Welcome to Take Me With You, episode 125. I'm Ryan,
And I'm Cheryl. We are two well-traveled people who want to go everywhere.
but that's not going to happen. So instead, we'll travel vicariously by inviting a guest to share their unique travel stories with us.
Today, we're talking to me to plan my trip to Hawaii.
Yay!
Yay!
That's so exciting.
I know. It sounds fake when I say it like that.
It does a little bit. But when you texted me and you're like, hey, so I think we're going to do a trip to Hawaii and maybe we should plan it on the podcast, I was so excited. Like, yes, let's do it.
Well, you know what first got me thinking about it was you and I just released an episode where we planned hypothetical 1-week trips for each
Yes.
other. And you
Yes.
asked me about Hawaii as one of the locations.
Right.
And then I was like, oh, I never did get to the Big Island. And I don't know if I need, I know people who go to Hawaii, like that is their vacation. They
Yep.
do it
Every
tons
year.
of times in the same island, and like they do
Yep.
the same things. And I don't know if there's any one place where I would do a trip like that anyway. However,
No, I don't think that's you.
yeah. However, also it's if it was going to be somewhere, it wouldn't be Hawaii because there's just so many other interesting places.
It would be Spain, Cheryl.
Yeah, it would be Spain. Yes. Well, and then how you would not run out of things, you know.
Yeah.
And so, but it just also depends on why are you vacationing, and I think a lot of people who vacation to Hawaii, it's because they need to like just chill and just they want to lay on the beach and they just want to relax and not have to think a ton about schedules and just enjoy the sun. And so so I don't know if I'm who knows, maybe this would be my last trip to Hawaii in my life, and I think I'd be fine with that because there's so many other places I want to go to, but I have not been to the Big Island and I really want to go there. So
And that is the only part of Hawaii that I do have interest in going to.
although, I mean, you got to admit, after I told you about Oahu, I'm guessing I sparked your interest a little bit.
Yeah,
too.
a little bit, especially with, and actually, I think we said this after we stopped recording, so I don't think this was in the episode.
No, I got it.
Oh, you did get
We were
it?
still recording. I put it in. Don't worry.
Oh, okay. All righty. So we had stopped our episode, but you were still recording. Is that
Yes,
what you're
yes.
saying? Got it. Okay then. Because you didn't tell me. Well, maybe you didn't recognize that it was a crater. That's super cool. So
I don't think I recognized it. I think that
Probably
might
not.
have been, is I just didn't, or I didn't put it together. But then once
Sure.
you said it, I was like, oh, of course it's a crater. But I didn't like think about that actively.
well, and if you're right up next to it, you probably wouldn't notice. The only reason I noticed was because I Googled pictures of it, and it showed it like from up above, like from a plane or a helicopter or something, and you can
Yeah.
see the whole crater. So very clearly.
Yeah, and it might be called that. Is it called Diamond Head Crater?
I don't know. I'll bet the internet knows.
It probably does. Because I always refer to
Diamond
it as
Head
a
Hike.
mountain, but I don't think
Yeah,
it's called that.
Diamond Head Crater Hike.
Yeah, so I probably knew that while I was there hiking it as
Sure.
well.
But it probably was not as significant to you as it would
Correct.
be to me.
Oh,
So-
absolutely. I mean, I wasn't freaking out that I was on a crater, so you know. But we're going to talk about the Big Island,
Yep.
and I'm so excited.
I do think before we start into that, Cheryl, we've got to address the current travel concerns and how you are planning for a trip in the midst of COVID. So travel has not been a thing that most of us have done a lot of. Right now, we are recording this only a few weeks before it's going to come out. So it's March of 2021 right now for us. So lots of restrictions still. Things are starting to open up in places. Vaccines are being rolled out. But as far as big time travel and things, it's not happening. So can you talk a little bit about your thinking about this trip? When are you planning it for? What's kind of the thought process that you have behind that?
Okay, here's where I'm at. So I want to take this trip on my second wedding anniversary, which will be this coming December. Mm-hmm. So my thought is that is far enough away that at least some conditions will be changed. I mean, I was telling you before we started recording, I just watched 2 webinars about vaccines and the workplace, and both of them were talking about, like, even when vaccines come out and even when people have it, we're still going to be wearing masks and everything for a while, because that's not like the magic key and then it's just done instantly, which made me very sad, because I was just picturing, like, and then we're done, and then this is over, right? However, I think at this point we can say December will be different than where we're at right now.
I think so too.
And people can go to Hawaii right now, and there are restrictions of either you have to quarantine for 2 weeks or have a COVID test, I think, within a certain window. Mm-hmm. So if that was the case still in December, then I would do a COVID test and call it good and go to Hawaii. But there's also talk at this point. I was also learning today of, are any countries just going to decide that you have to have a vaccination to enter the country? And is there possibly going to be like a digital vaccination passport for people, or what are airlines going to do? Because there is a lot that is legal, even in our country, with requiring vaccines, with only just a few exceptions, really. And other countries could have very different laws about that, too. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens with travel and vaccinations, and how often are you going to have to show proof, and for how many years? You know, like, how long will that extend before it will become, you know, just like a part of life. So it's interesting. But I want to go in December, which, I mean, Hawaii is great to visit year round, and it's still fairly warm in December. People can still, like, be in swimsuits on the beach. But also, my husband, who does not like the hot, will be happiest if we go there in December. Well, it's not, like, super hot. Yeah. So, yeah.
Great. Okay. So, what are you thinking? How long is this trip? Do you have things that you already want to do? Do you have goals? How much planning do you want? How much not planning do you want? How do you want us to work through this?
Okay, so I think I want to go for just under a week. I think I want to, like, take 4 to 5 days off of work. I think it would be fun if I could be there on our anniversary. So, and I was looking at flight prices, because if anyone doesn't know, if you're entering dates into, like, an airline website to fly, you can click on flexible schedule, flexible dates, something like that, and it'll pull up like a month calendar and show you the cheapest days, which are not usually the weekend. So I think we do like midweek to midweek. Maybe, like, I was looking at, like, flying on a Tuesday night and then come back on that following Monday. So maybe, like, 5 days with no flying.
Okay.
Is what I'm thinking. Here's what I know about the Big Island. I know, well, oh no.
You're going to say, you know, it's big?
Yeah. It is, but it's the biggest one. So I started looking at, like, drive times, and I think we should look into, should I stay in 2 different cities? Like, should I split the time? Because if there's something on the other side of the island I want to do, it's like a 2.5 hour drive. And I was thinking, like, oh, that'd be fine. And then also I was like, no, most places, if I was going to visit somewhere 2.5 hours away, I'd probably just stay there. So I want to look at like, should I stay on one side of the island for half and the other side of the island for half, which is like Kona and Hilo are the two big cities.
Yeah. Yeah, I see that. I've got it up on Google Maps right now.
I want to see the Black Sand Beach.
Uh-huh.
I want to go to the national park for sure.
Volcanoes National Park?
Yes. Oh,
yes.
yeah. I mean, that's the
definitely.
big reason I want to go there. And that's near Hilo.
Yep.
Because at first I was just thinking of staying at Kona the whole time. But I'm thinking maybe we should just go stay in Hilo if there's other cool stuff over there too.
Yeah.
I would like to know, what can I not miss while I'm there? Like, if this is the trip that I'm planning on taking to this island in my life, then, what do I want to make sure that I see? But I think what I would want scheduled is flights and hotels. And
everything else you want to figure out while you're there.
Yeah, like maybe have a good idea, but I don't think that there would be a reason that I would want to get more specific than that. Unless there was something that it was like, this thing is super cool and I need reservations for it. But as far as I can tell, a lot of this is going to be us going and just exploring on our own, and I think this is definitely a trip to rent a car on. So I'd, at some point set up the rental, but I'm not so worried about that right now.
No.
And then just be able to go and choose each day with what we want to do specifically. But I don't know, like, what else is there? And, or are there other areas I should stay that are kind of close to those regions? Is there an order? Like, should I go to Hilo first and then come back to Kona? That might even depend on flight times. Though, if I had a super early morning flight going back home, then I'd probably want to end up in Kona just so I don't have to drive far,
Yeah.
But,
yeah, that's true.
Yeah. I want to know all the things.
Well, I can definitely help you research. Of course, I've never been there, so I can't tell you from experience. But it is fun to look and to explore and to dream about traveling, especially since some of the things you want to do are cool sciencey things like Volcanoes National Park.
Yes, this is a science trip.
Well, I don't know if it's going to be a science trip per se, but sciencey things will be there for sure.
Yay.
All right, so let's start. My thought is just start looking for cool things that sound interesting to you. And then I'm going to guess that what you're going to use your star method on Google Maps like you've done before.
Yes.
And so as we find those, in case listeners haven't heard this, you're going to star them. And it's not a favorite, is it? Which option do you use?
I'm going to make a new map.
Okay.
And it's going to be one of the ways of tagging things. I always forget what it's called. Is it under your places? Saved. Yeah, it's like if you're on, I'm on the desktop version right now, and there's like saved ones, and then I could click and see all those.
Under your places.
Yeah.
Yep.
So I'm going to do a new one for this trip.
You're going to do a new one of those saved lists.
Yes. Yeah.
So not a new map then.
Yeah, I guess not.
Okay. So you're going to make yourself a new list, and you're going to call it, I don't know, something about Hawaii. And then you're going to just start marking things that you're interested in. So my thought is we do that first and see where in the island those things end up being. Because if they're all over the place, that's one thing. If they're all concentrated near one spot or near another spot, then I think that kind of helps you figure out a little bit too. Sort of, where to go and what those things are. So I started with my favorite travel website searchy place, which is Atlas Obscura. And I'm sure you figured I was going to go there.
Oh, yeah, totally.
I think that they have some of the stuff that, at least for me personally, I tend to be more interested in. And I'm already, even just looking at the initial page here, it starts with 55 cool, hidden, and unusual things to do in Hawaii. And I'm like, yes, sign me up.
Nice.
So, but it has, for example, I don't think they're all unusual. It has a black sand beach on this list, for example.
Yay!
And this one is in, and I'm going to totally butcher all of the Hawaiian names, so I apologize ahead of time. Pahala, Hawaii. And it's the Punalu'u Black Sand Beach.
Okay, that's so funny. I'm actually clicked on that one on Google Maps. I just did a quick search for black sand beaches, and those one of the ones that came up. And
that one came up?
Yeah.
Okay.
Also, next to that is something called turtle huts at Punalu'u Black Sand Beach. So what are the turtle huts?
I don't know, because that's not one of the top things on here, but I'll bet you it's there. What are the turtle huts?
The image is of a turtle on a black sand beach. Oh, it's a VRBO? What?
Yes, it's a VRBO. Maybe you're going to stay there.
$85 a night? No, it's not.
Average, it says.
Oh, well, December is not exactly the
Well, and especially since you're not going in December over Christmas, you're going earlier than that.
True.
Whereas oftentimes when people are traveling in December, it's the last 2 or 3 weeks of December.
Well, it's not available on that night. Well, and they're for multiple nights, so you know.
I don't think they're actually turtle huts. I think they're huts around where turtles live.
But
which is still
cool.
cool.
Kitchen. It's got a barbecue. I mean, there's little turtles on the tile on the patio. So that's the same.
There you go.
This looks cool, though. It's like this little kind of condo rental place, but right on the beach. One of the VRBO images of it is just this up-close face of a turtle, and he's swimming in the water. So his head is tilted really up, and then his eyes are looking at the camera though, and he looks very weird. That's so funny. Do you see that?
Oh, yep. It's just his head kind of popping up out of the water. That's funny.
Okay, well, I'm going to keep that place in mind.
Okay. All right. I got another one for you. Ready?
Okay.
Akaka Falls. AKAKA. It's in Pepikio, Hawaii. And it says, these picturesque Hawaiian falls are home to a rare species of fish that uses a special sucker to climb up cliffs.
Whoa, really?
And it's a beautiful waterfall. So, and I'm sure there's hiking around there because I know you guys like to hike too.
Oh, yeah.
So that might be something that you would enjoy. I don't know if you can actually get to see the...
But that waterfall is beautiful.
Isn't that cool?
Whoa, there are cool trees. What are those trees?
I don't know.
What are these trees here? They look like they're decorated with crepe paper made of trees.
Yeah, they could be. It could be a number of things. I don't know. They could be vines from something else that's draping down from the branches. It could be something like a kind of almost like a mandrake type of a thing where it just has all sorts of different roots that are pulling things out of the environment and out of the water. I don't know off the top of my head, but those do look cool.
Those are cool, huh? Ooh, that looks so pretty. Also, I didn't know that mandrakes were not just from Harry Potter.
Yeah. The first place I heard of them was Harry Potter, but
okay.
No, they are real trees.
It's not just yay!
They don't have living things in their roots that screech and petrify you, though.
Got it. Okay.
Yeah, that part's just in Harry Potter.
All right, I saved Akaka Falls. And Ryan, to help you out, I believe, and who knows if I'm wrong, in Hawaiian, you pronounce every letter you see.
Okay.
That's what I'm pretty sure about.
So, if it's... So, in the town that it's in, Pepeekeo. So that's Pep-E-E.
Well, I think they do I think they do an apostrophe to get both. Like Hawaii has an apostrophe.
Oh, okay.
So I think you wouldn't do each E that are next to each other, but I think you would still pronounce like every vowel that you see.
Got it.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
There's Cheryl's lesson on the Hawaiian language based on what I've heard other people tell me.
Okay. So here's another one that I don't know if you would be interested in or not, Cheryl, and it's totally fine if you are not interested in it. And it's Atlas Obscura says it's based in Hilo. It's not actually in Hilo. It's outside of Hilo, but it's more on that side of the island, I think. And that's Mauna Kea. And that is the top-ish of one of the volcanoes. And that's where they've got all sorts of telescopes. And
Wait, really?
It's super high. Yeah. And I don't mean like I mean like professional, active right now. They're doing research there, astronomy telescopes.
Whoa.
And it's super high. And so you can get like up above the clouds. And it can be like actually cold up there. I've had a student go before and told me about it. And it's definitely a place I want to go as an astronomy lover. So whether or not it would be interesting to you and Daryl, I don't know, but I feel like I have to at least mention it in the case that it might be interesting.
I had no idea. I'm seeing like 3 different observatories on top of this mountain.
Yep.
Whoa. And you can drive there? Obviously, that's a big old road.
Yeah, you can.
Oh, I have to go there.
I don't know about tours. I'm guessing there probably are some in some places. I'm looking right now.
I mean, it would still be a really cool viewpoint. However, getting to actually like tour or see through a telescope or something would be crazy.
Yep. Well, so, okay, it does say this, and this doesn't surprise me, but often surprises a lot of people. The summit telescopes have no eyepieces to look through. So their telescopes, they're hooked up to computers now.
Oh, okay. Yeah, actually, no, when you say that part, that makes sense.
Yeah. So it's not so much that human beings are looking through a telescope. And oftentimes, a number of these telescopes, they're actually not even looking for visible light. Like there's I just saw it. Where'd it go? So, for example, there's the Caltech submillimeter observatory that's up there. Submillimeter has to do with the wavelengths, and those are not visible. There's the NASA infrared telescope facility. Again, we can't see infrared light. So a number of them are looking at wavelengths of light that we can't see anyway. So even if you were to look through it, you wouldn't really see anything, if that makes sense. So it looks like they do have a visitor information station.
Okay.
They have no eyepieces to look through, and access to the summit is restricted after dark. So the nightly public stargazing program takes place at the visitor information station. And oh my gosh, Cheryl, if you can go to a stargazing there, you're going to have almost no light pollution at all. It will be amazing.
Oh my gosh, yes. Oh, and we wouldn't even have to stay up as late because we'd be there in the winter.
Well, that actually isn't going to matter
south.
as much for Hawaii.
Yeah.
It wouldn't matter like it does here in Seattle. They
That's
don't
true.
have as big of a swing, but it would be it still is going to be less. You have to wait less long in December because that's almost the solstice. So they do caution you about altitude sickness because of how high it is. So if you are prone to that, or if Daryl is, keep that in mind. I don't know if you even know. Have you ever been?
I've
high
never
enough
experienced it, and I've been up high places. Yeah.
Mauna Kea is 13,803 feet above sea level.
Cool.
Just to put that in context, the summit of Mount Rainier, which is the big volcano that's here in Washington State, is about 14,000 feet.
And what's so cool about that is this is a little island.
Yep.
So that's like sea level is like literally right there.
You could go from sea level to the top.
Yes.
Yep.
Oh, I gotta go there.
Yep. That's definitely on my list.
Fun.
So if you're also interested, then I'd say go, because I'll be so jealous. I'm already jealous. I'm jealous that you're even planning on it. Okay. I'm going to keep going on the sciencey things, because here's my thought. I'm not going to be able to tell you the difference of one beach to another beach, because to me a beach is a beach, other than like the black sand beach, because it obviously looks different.
Yeah. I think the only thing, and here's the thing, is I love the beach. Hawaii is like, I mean, I think the things to consider, like if someone else is considering, like, are you trying to stay near a beach that you can swim at, is not every single beach is swimmable. And so it's good to check out, like, I was even looking at Hilo, and I don't think you can swim in Hilo, but you can swim a ton on the Kona side, which is the west side of the island. And so that's a good thing for people to consider. And then the other thing is I love snorkeling. So I did start looking up, like, just what are the best snorkel locations, and a ton came up for the island. So then it's like, oh, cool. So if I just wanted to rent snorkel gear, there's a ton of options, which means I don't have to like make sure I'm at this specific beach. It's just like go to the beach and you can go snorkeling. Pretty much.
Or even once you get wherever it is you're going to stay, whether you're staying in a hotel or an Airbnb or whatever, you could probably find some locals somewhere and ask them.
Yeah.
Right? Or like check in and be like, hey, when you go snorkeling, where do you go?
Yeah. Or honestly, like
that.
When you rent snorkel gear, they get asked that question all day long. And so that's another option.
Yep.
So I think that's why the beach matters, is like, I do want to get in the ocean.
Yes.
And so I will care about it for that. However, also, it's freaking gorgeous there. So I don't think there's like a wrong choice necessarily. So,
yeah.
Unless
there was a cool something underwater to see that's in a particular space.
Yeah.
And we might still get to that, but I'm going to throw another sciencey thing at you.
Good.
It's in Hilo apparently. So here, let me give you the tagline first, and then I'll tell you the name. Are you ready? Okay.
Yes.
Hide from the tourist hordes in these relatively unknown and unguarded lava caves.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
So these are the Kaumana lava tubes. Kaumana lava tubes.
I'm getting the Kaumana Caves is coming up.
Yep, that's it.
Okay. Let's see what it's near. It is really close to Hilo.
Yeah.
Just up the road.
Apparently it's just up the road from Kaumana Elementary School.
Oh my gosh. Also near an astronomy center, by the way.
Ooh. I approve of that.
Oh, cool. I love lava caves. An enormous lava tube. Gotta go there.
So I know that you've done some hiking in lava tubes before. And again, I know you like hiking, and it's a type of hiking you can't easily do here in this area. So.
That looks so fun.
And if Daryl is, you get a particularly warm day and he wants to not be out in the sun, you could be doing something and not be out in the sun.
This is so true. Oh, man, that looks great.
That's an option.
That looks really fun.
So that's another sciencey thing. Oops. Let's see. Was there anything else? Oh, okay. All right, Cheryl. I know I said not really doing beaches, but I've got a beach for you.
Okay.
And I don't know if you've heard of these or not. I actually saw one that's similar to this in the Galapagos Islands, and it was actually very cool. So you know about the black sand beaches, but have you heard about the green sand beaches?
No. What?
Yep.
Why is it green?
Because it's made, well, I don't know if this one, let me double check, but I believe it's because of the mineral that makes it up is called olivine. and has a green color. It's kind of like a more olive green, hence olivine for the name. But so it's not like bright green or like forest green. So it's more subtle. It still looks like sand, but it's definitely not your regular sand color. Let me see, make sure. So this one's going to be a little bit harder for you to get to because it's down on the very south end. So you'd have to take a whole trip down there. It's not, it's not right near Hilo or what was the other one? Kona?
Yeah. But the thing is, it looks like the fastest highways go around the perimeter of the island.
Oh, as opposed to across.
I mean, there is one across, but that's probably across a mountain range.
Yep.
So Google suggests going around the perimeter. And then also you get to drive on the coast. So
yeah, that's true. So that could be maybe determining whether, well, except I think the Black Sand Beach, I think was along the northern end. Is that where that was? The northern end of the island?
Nope. It's on the south.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Perfect then. So this one is called, and I'm definitely not going to pronounce this one right, Papakolea Beach. Papako with a line over it, Lea.
Oh, it is like right on the south. That's so pretty.
Right?
Green looks like an exaggeration, but it looks very cool. It looks like a tan. It's like a greenish tan, but it's still, oh my gosh, there's like these cliffs, but then you can still swim there.
Yeah.
Which looks amazing.
Yeah.
Okay.
So if you want a beach, but it's a different sort of a beach and a little bit farther away from, the bigger cities, it's not that people won't be there, obviously.
But there will be people who will stay in a resort in Kona, and that is where they will go to the beach. Is right there.
That's right. So, and I've not been to this particular beach, but the ones when we went to the green sand beach in the Galapagos Islands, it was just even the texture of the sand was different.
Ooh.
It was like a finer, smoother sand, like to walk on. So fun. Even just that to me was fascinating, just the difference in the sand, just texture. So there's another beach for you that is a little bit different if you're wanting to, change up your beach game.
Okay, and then here's something fun on Google Maps as I was just scrolling around.
Yeah.
It's the most southern point in the U.S.
Oh, well, that would make sense.
But that looks really fun, and it's super close to that beach. So it feels like, well, shouldn't I go there?
Probably.
To be in the most southern point. It'd be a lot harder to go to the most northern point in the U.S.
Yep.
I have gone past the Arctic Circle in Alaska, but that's not the most northern. But that's pretty far north. Yeah.
It's farther north than I've been. So those are the big ones that I've seen so far. I can keep looking here. You already had Volcanoes National Park. You knew about that one. Okay. This would not be, I think, a major thing, but could be somewhat interesting. Pu'uhonua o Hona'una'o. Ooh.
Okay, great. Cool. Yep. Got it.
Pu'uhonua O all by itself. Honaunau.
Ooh, the National Historical Park?
Probably. They have they have really cool like carving statue things that are pretty cool, and it looks like maybe it might have some cultural history as well, which could be really interesting. And it's not too far from Kona, it looks like. So that could be another something. I don't know if it's like a must-see, but it seems interesting, I think.
Yeah. Oh, look at that. Google Maps knows about snorkeling access. We're good.
Ooh, okay. I just found another waterfall in Hilo. It's called Rainbow Falls. or by the Hawaiian name that I'm going to totally butcher again, Waianue.
This is kind of fun having you pronounce these.
Have me totally
This looks-
butcher.
This is very close to those caves. It's up the same road, at least.
Oh, okay. So also a cool waterfall. And it looks like it's just on the edge of a state park.
Nice. That's really pretty.
Mm-hmm.
Is that a banyan tree?
I don't know.
Is that? I can't tell. No. Okay, Ryan. We're just going to have you do more tree identification.
Because
It looks
clearly
like a
I know
banyan
trees.
Tree, but no, it doesn't actually, right?
I don't know what a banyan tree is.
Yes, you do.
I've heard of it. I just couldn't tell you what it actually
I've
is.
told you about a banyan tree in Hawaii for Wish You Were Here like a million years ago. And I'm so upset that you don't know
But
exactly what I'm
remember.
talking about. There's a banyan tree in Maui, and if you ever go to Maui, you should see it because a banyan tree is one singular tree that looks like a whole forest full of trees because its roots, or its branches go out and then go down, and it looks like a separate tree trunk, but it's a part of the same tree.
Oh, now that I'm looking at pictures, I do remember you mentioning something about this.
It's so interesting. It's so weird seeing a tree and seeing a bunch of trees, but being like, nope, that's one tree. I think you would enjoy banyan trees a lot.
Yeah, those look very cool. They look very fantasy-esque.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, I just noticed something. So, Kalae, that southernmost point, it says, the southernmost point in the United States is a beautiful place to look at, but a deadly place to wade in. So don't go swimming.
I mean, good to know. That's what it looked like because it looks very rocky there. But thank you for the warning. I think with any beach, I'm going to need to be like checking signs, Googling it.
Ooh, I may have just found, I've been looking for something for you, and I think I may have just found one for you. Okay, I did. I just found you a blowhole. Have you ever seen a blowhole?
I don't know. I don't remember.
Do you know what a blowhole is?
Where water shoots out of it depending on the tide?
Yeah, and the waves. Yeah, so it's like a hole in the rock, so the water goes underneath, and when the water's high enough and it hits just right, it sends the water up, kind of like a geyser, except obviously it's formed totally differently.
Geyser.
Right. So this is Keyhole Point blowhole, and it's on the Kona side. So you'd have to figure out the tides because it's going to do it during, high tide and maybe something else too. But that could be a fun one. Visitors are most likely to see the blowhole spouting water in the winter months when the seas are rougher.
Yay! That's exciting.
Technically, it won't be winter yet, but close enough. There may be other blowholes around too, but that was one that I could find pretty quickly. Okay, here's a totally different thing for you that I think you might find interesting, and I think Daryl would probably find interesting. The Kona Coffee Living History Farm.
Ooh.
Try your hand at old-fashioned coffee growing at this museum devoted to one of the world's most coveted beans.
Nice. So here's what I think I should do. When we come in, drive along the highway that goes along the north side of the island to Hilo.
Okay.
Stay in Hilo, do all that stuff over there, and then drive along the south side back to somewhere around Kona. Although, I'll have to see, do I actually want to stay in those cities or somewhere just
outside of them?
Because it feels to me like it's a big enough island that it might be worth staying in two different places, but that it's small enough that it doesn't have to be exact places.
I mean, that seems reasonable to me.
That's my current thought. Also, if I find, I don't know if I want to do hotels or Airbnb. Oh, okay. Here's a question for you.
Yeah.
I am considering using my miles to book a hotel through Alaska Air.
Okay.
Do you know of any downsides to doing that as opposed to like booking your hotel through the hotel site? Is like booking it through the airline and using miles. Like, I've already noticed some of them say refundable, some of them say non-refundable. I'd probably read the fine print because I'm probably going to read the fine print with everything I book.
Now,
not just because of COVID, just because of life, and then specifically because of COVID times.
Well, and also probably because of your experience for your wedding trip.
Yes.
So your honeymoon that
I will be
changed.
checking fine print from now on.
Yep.
But do you know anything about that?
I don't off the top of my head. I would actually ask your husband, since he was in the hotel industry, to see if there's anything related to that. I do know that in general, when it comes to flights, I have found I would rather book directly with the airline than with a third party, because then if anything goes wrong, you can't, like, the airline won't deal with you. So that I would wonder if there's something similar to booking with airline miles. Does that mean that then you have to go through Alaska if you have an issue with the hotel, even if it's a hotel issue, you know? So that would be something that I don't know the answer to, but I would wonder and want to investigate further.
Yeah.
To make sure.
That's a good point.
And you could potentially even just call the hotel. Like, if you find a hotel that you're interested in, call them and ask them. You know, like, hey, I'm looking at staying at your place, and I've got airline miles to do that so that it wouldn't be very expensive. You'd be paid for. Is there a reason why I should just book with you instead of doing the airline miles? And they might tell you some legitimate things. They obviously could try and sell you on it. You might get a better deal because of that, potentially. I mean, who knows? Maybe not. You know, maybe they just have a bottom line, and if you're not, and they're like, actually, we don't care.
Yeah, that's a good point. I have heard in general, a rule of thumb with miles is to try to get the value of 1 penny per mile that you have. So it's good to like compare what the price would be. Yeah. And then do the math essentially and see how many miles it costs. Yeah. So yeah, but I've never done that before, and I think I might look into it because it's like, hey, that could be cool.
Yeah. I mean, unless you were going to use those miles for something else, or so here's the other thing you could potentially do, and maybe this is sending you in the wrong direction, but the flight from Seattle to Hawaii, I feel like, is around 6 hours, I think is what is the case. Depending on all of the miles and all the flights and things that you're looking at, you could also potentially look at upgrading to like first class on a flight like that, because it's still technically domestic.
That is so not worth it to me.
Okay.
But Daryl's legs are even shorter than mine. So, like, if I'm going to spend more money on a trip, it's not going to be to upgrade the flight.
Well, but it's not money, though. That's the thing.
Oh, you're saying
it's the miles. I'm saying you could use the miles for them. But if that's something you're not interested in, then don't worry about it.
Yeah, I don't think I care.
And that's okay. You don't need to care.
Yeah. But, I mean, for some people, that's a good idea. For sure. Yeah.
And again, it depends on, comparing the cost of those things, comparing the cost of that to like the value you'd be getting for using it on a hotel or a rental car. Actually, if you're talking about renting a car, you can oftentimes use your miles to get a rental car as well.
Yeah. The other cool thing I was looking at with rental cars is even if I don't use my miles for that, if I book it through Alaska, I get miles for renting a car. So that's cool as well. Right.
Yeah. And when you learn something, let us all know.
I know. I'll have to. Yeah. For sure.
All right, so I've thrown a bunch of sciencey things at you.
Mm-hmm.
Are there other things that you feel like you want? Oh, I don't know, restaurants or anything that you also want to research and figure out that we haven't done?
I'm so excited about food. I'm also interested in where I should stay. Are there cool Airbnbs I should be checking out instead of hotels? Are there like interesting places to stay, or just like, are there cheaper places to stay where it's not that far, you know?
Well, let's look at hawaiitravelguide.com.
Oh, okay.
Where to stay on the Big Island of Hawaii. So here's a tip.
Okay.
It says fly into one of the major airports at either Kailua, Kona, or Hilo and depart from the other.
Ooh.
This may mean a slight fee for turning in your car on the opposite side of the island from where you rented it, but it's negligible considering gas prices on the island. If the volcano in Hilo is doing something special, another reason to call the park in advance, then it's worth staying on the Hilo side first so you can explore the park during the first or second day or night of your visit. And I can tell you right now, the volcano is doing stuff. Who knows what it'll be doing by December?
Yeah. Interesting. Okay, that's a good tip.
Yeah, it says the volcano is very unpredictable. So if it's doing something spectacular at the start of your trip, make sure you see it because that activity could end the next day.
Oh, I see. I see.
When driving from one side of the island to the other, always try to take the northern coast route. It's safer and the speed limit is higher. There are also more attractions on that stretch of the island than if you were to take the southern coast route. We are not suggesting to never make the southern route drive, as it's also quite scenic, but only do so when the weather is good and preferably early in the day, since fog and other weather conditions can make the drive hazardous later. The drive from Kona to Hilo is more scenic via the northern route than driving from Hilo to Kona when taking the southern route. So I'm not seeing a ton of things that are under. There's definitely options that are under $100. So it's not that there aren't any. You can totally do one. But I'm not seeing it like a flood of things. And they all look pretty similar, I think. Ooh.
It seems like there's a ton of things that it's like, yeah, that looks like fine accommodations.
Yep. Here's a charming rainforest cottage. Would you like to stay in the artistic hobbit house?
What? Yes.
Oh, and it's like, oh, Cheryl, you would find this fun. All right, let me get the link to this and send this to you. I don't know if you'd actually want to stay there or not, but it would definitely be an experience. There used to be, I don't know if it's still there used to be just off of Bothell Way, just between downtown Bothell and Kenmore, there was like this, I think we called it the Acorn when we were growing up, but it's like a geodesic sphere, but with like, I don't know if it was triangles or whatever shapes.
Oh, funny.
And that's what this place is.
Really?
And this one's only $55 a night.
Wow.
Oh, it's not the whole thing that's that way, though. It's just one of the rooms, just the bedroom. Oh, that's even more interesting.
Oh, weird.
Yeah.
Oh, that is weird that it's like half that shape.
Yeah.
That's hilarious. It looks like a decent place to stay, actually.
Yeah, it looks big. It looks like it has a loft.
There's 2 beds.
Yeah. Oh, and apparently it comes with a peacock. At least in one of the pictures, there's a peacock on the front step.
There's some big windows on the bathroom?
Yeah, that just kind of looks out into what looks very rainforesty to me.
Wow. Okay, Ryan. I'm pretty sure that the time has come to talk about food.
I've been surprised that we've made it this long, Cheryl, honestly.
It's because I'm so excited for so many things. And also, I know I'm going to find good food there, you know.
Yeah.
So there's like a piece where But also we probably do need to talk about food.
Probably. Well, this is where I'm not going to be a lot of help because I don't care enough.
Here's the thing, Ryan. You are a good researcher, though.
This is true, but I don't know what to research other than food. Oh, but you know what I do know? Hold on a minute. Hold on. I'm silly. I'm so dumb. I forgot. Atlas Obscura has Gastro Obscura. They have a food side. So I'll look here for you.
Okay, great.
Oh, they only have one for Hawaii, and it's the Kona Coffee Living History Farm that we already did.
Got it. Okay.
So sorry. Wah wah.
All right. I have 11 things you must eat on the Big Island.
Oh,
Any guesses? Do you have any guesses?
I'm going to guess things that are traditionally Hawaiian, which I don't even know necessarily. Is poi a thing? Is that a thing?
Uh-huh.
I feel like I've heard of that. I don't know what it is. What else do they do at like those very touristy luau's, like roasted pig on a spit or something like that? Spam? Spam's big in Hawaii.
I hope they say spam on this list. I mean, I'm going to guess Hawaiian shaved ice is going to be on this list.
Oh, okay.
Let's see what we have. Poke. I love
okay.
Poke. Acai bowls. These are things that have become popular between the last time I've been to Hawaii and now. At least popular on the mainland. Maybe they were popular in Hawaii, but I didn't know. Mochi. Yep. Although that's funny because the picture is with a strawberry on the inside. Have you had mochi? It's a Japanese treat. It's dessert, so.
Oh, wait, maybe I have. Can you get like little mochi sticks?
Maybe. Sticks?
Describe maybe not. It. Maybe that's a different thing. Well, it's like a little mini breadstick, but it's like covered with, maybe.
You're talking about Pocky. Mochi is an ice cream dessert.
Oh, okay.
It's a little ball of ice cream covered in dough.
Oh, interesting.
And it has like flour on the outside so you can hold it. And you can hold the dough anyway, but that way it's not sticky. You can get it at grocery stores all over around here. So you should try it sometime. So this is interesting because it looks like dough around a strawberry instead. But there's now mochi on the Big Island. Kona coffee. Well, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Furikake chicken?
Okay.
Oh, furikake. It's a Japanese seasoning made of dried seaweed, sesame seeds, and bonito flakes, and is typically added to a rice or poke. It adds a delicious pop of flavor. Spam musubi. So there's your spam. And Hawaiian breakfast. What's Hawaiian breakfast?
I don't know.
Eggs, rice, Portuguese sausage. All right.
That sounds good. That.
And malasadas. Oh, now this looks like dessert, Ryan.
I approve of dessert.
If you like fried food and or donuts, you must try malasadas while in Hawaii. It is a Portuguese treat, which actually means undercooked in Portuguese. They're essentially fried donuts covered in sugar.
Oh, wonderful.
But they don't have a hole.
Okay.
Yeah. And they can be either doughy in the middle or filled with delicious fillings like coconut. And they're served hot and fresh. Okay. I love donuts so much. And then shave ice, of course. And loco moco.
Okay. Don't know what that is.
Rice and a hamburger patty and brown gravy with an egg on top.
All right.
That sounds like when you're starving. And it sounds really good, too. And then Kalua pork. I mean, yeah, there you go. There's your pig.
There's my pig.
Yep. Mm-hmm. All right. Well, there's my checklist. So there we go.
Oh, okay. So I'm looking at other websites for like where to eat, like specific restaurants.
Okay.
So Again, I'll read you the caption for this one first. This unassuming trailer in a parking lot opposite a port in Kauai serves what may be the best shave ice on Hawaii Island and possibly in the whole state.
Okay. Tell me the name of the place.
Original Big Island Shave Ice Co.
Permanently closed.
Oh, well, ignore that then.
Never mind.
We're not going to look at anything else on that website. Ooh, there's a Kona Brewing Company. This local brew pub is a great place to sample beer, take a tour, and chow down.
Oh, yeah. There we go.
Say, that sounds like you guys.
I'm into that. Kona Brewing Hawaii?
Probably.
Looks
I don't
like
know.
it.
It says Kona Brewing Company.
It is in Kona. That would make sense with the name.
Oh, here's an interesting one. Island Lava Java. It says you could probably eat all of your meals at this beachside eatery. From coffee and breakfast in the morning to a seafood meal at dinner, you may not ever want to leave. There's also a location in Waikoloa. Oh, interesting. You ready for a pineapple fact?
Yes.
You might think that pineapples are the token Hawaiian fruit, but they actually originate from Brazil. Locals consider them an export product rather than part of their culture.
That's really interesting.
All right, here's a list of local food in Hawaii. So poke, already said that one. Spam musubi, mentioned that one. Poi, which I think I predicted, but you didn't say.
So proud of you.
It is a traditional Hawaiian pudding. Okay. Have you had poi?
Oh, okay.
So it's made from the taro root that was a main source of carbohydrate for the native Hawaiians. Poi is typically served at a luau, but you can also buy it at local supermarkets like KTA.
Nice.
Lomi salmon. Lomi salmon is a fresh tomato and salmon salad and is a traditional side dish served at Hawaiian luau's. You can also find it at local supermarkets and restaurants and sometimes at fish markets, such as Suisan in Hilo.
Nice.
So that's one. Lau. Fish and pork wrapped in taro and tea leaves and smoked in an underground emu oven. I should say tea is spelled T-I, not T-E-A. I'm not sure why. Kalua pig, I think you said that.
Mm-hmm.
Haupia.
Oh, I've never heard of that.
Traditional Hawaiian dessert made from coconut milk and cornstarch. Available in most supermarkets and restaurants. Loco moco, you said. Mochi, you said. Did you do huli chicken?
No.
Huli means to turn in the Hawaiian language, and it is a great description of these chickens. They are roasted golden brown over a grill while they are continuously turned. We like to get our chickens from at a farmer's market.
Nice.
You should find a farmer's market. You love this farmer's market.
Yes. That would be so fun. So I'm on Google Maps and I can see the whole island.
Okay.
And I searched farmer's market.
Uh-oh.
And like 20 plus things came up around the island. So that's exciting.
That is exciting. You can choose.
Yeah.
Okay, here's another one. I don't remember if you already said this one. Malasadas. Is that the one that you were describing?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
The donuts without the
Yeah,
hole.
Portuguese, sugared and fried balls of fluffy yeast dough. So this actually also gives 2 suggestions on where to get them. So it says Tex Drive-In in Hanakoa. They serve, according to this website, the best malasadas on the Big Island.
Okay.
And then a close second place is the Punalu'u Bake Shop. And you got the text drive-in?
Yep.
Okay, there you go. Those are the places they recommend. So this is people who, this is trying to recommend locals. So there you go. Would you want to do like a fancy like anniversary dinner somewhere?
Yeah. I think it'd be fun to do a fancy dinner. Yeah.
So is that something that you want to try and find a nice restaurant for?
Yeah.
All right. Here is from TripAdvisor, the top, however many I choose to read, romantic restaurants in Kailua, Kona.
Okay.
Number 1, the Ulu Ocean Grill and Sushi Lounge.
Sushi. I have to get sushi while I'm there.
Mm-hmm. ULU. Ulu Ocean Grill and Sushi Lounge. So that's the top one.
That's near the. Is this near the Four Seasons?
I don't know. I don't know where the Four Seasons is.
I was looking, and the Four Seasons is like just around the curve past Kona. And then I was like, oh, well, that's where the fancy stuff is going to be. I don't think it's quite there.
Close. Number 2 is Beach Tree Bar and Lounge. And they do Italian and American food.
Oh, it's like right next to that other place.
Oh, is it? I'll bet you there's a number of them right there. This third one, I just like it for the name. It's probably not pronounced this way, but this is the way I'm going to pronounce it. Huggo's Restaurant. It's Huggo.
Oh, GG.
Yeah, it's 2 G's. Huggo. So it could be Hugo, but it looks like Huggo to me. And that's American and seafood. Then they have a La Bourgeonnaise French restaurant. I probably didn't say that right, but it sounds good. And I mean, it's just restaurants listed here. And at this point, I don't know which one's which, but you could go to Gertrude's Jazz Bar.
Okay.
That's number 16 on the list.
Oh, that looks fun.
So there's some suggestions for a nicer.
Thanks.
I mean, I'm suggesting things that I've never been to, so I'm just reading them off the internet. But they get my full endorsement of maybe you would like them.
Nice.
You get a full maybe from me.
Solid maybe. I love it.
You're just starring all sorts of stuff over there, aren't you?
Yes, I'm so excited. Right now I'm looking at Airbnbs too, and there's so many really cool.
Yeah. Does that give you enough to get started there?
Oh, yeah. This is wonderful. This is going to be fun. It doesn't feel real at all yet.
Which is probably good.
Yes. But I think once I get plane tickets, I think that'll be the first thing I do, and then go from there. Great.
That's exciting.
Yay.
So let's go ahead and do Wish You Were Here's. This is where you and I are each going to share a travel attraction, something cool from where we've been. It's like a little snapshot postcard of that thing or event or location to tell other people how cool it is. And hey, I wish you were here. So Cheryl, what would you like to do if you wish you were here today?
So Ryan, I know that you have been feeling bummed that you haven't been traveling.
Yes, we may have talked about this a few days ago.
Yeah, and so I was thinking about things I've done that are in our area that maybe you haven't done yet that would give you like a new activity that you could do in the Seattle area. Like get some friends together and go do something new that is not the same day after day that's maybe a little rough right now. And something I did, and unfortunately I don't know the company and I'm finding a couple good ones online, is an urban scavenger hunt.
Okay, tell me more.
Are you a scavenger hunt fan?
It depends on the scavenger hunt.
So I did this with a friend of mine and he set it up. And so I don't know what he did or anything, but he just had it on his phone and it tells you a starting place in Seattle. We were like kind of near Seattle Center area roughly. And it would give you a clue of like, you had to go find something out in public and then count the number of something. And then if you'd like input that into a puzzle on the website, and then that would give you the next clue.
Oh, interesting.
And so it was kind of like a fun, like interactive with their website and with things that you're finding. It's like, go read this quote on this wall here and then count this thing or find these tiles somewhere. So you're finding like all these different things that you've probably seen before, because it took us like, I think we were down to the waterfront, maybe. I don't know. We're just around. It was all walking, but just walking around the Seattle area. In all areas I think I had walked before, but like go find this thing. And you're like, oh, I've never noticed that thing before. And then you do a fun little puzzle with it. But I think it'd be really fun with some of your friends, and you could get out and go explore and pretend that you're not from here and that you're traveling here and doing something fun. And also it would be very socially distanced other than the friends you're with. So
and
yeah.
outdoors.
And outdoors. So that's great.
Yeah.
I mean, around here, like,
idea.
You might want to wait until it's a nice day because it's a lot of walking outside. But
yeah, but I mean, we've even in the last week had several nice days.
So there you go.
Today was not a nice day, but we've had several nice days in the last week or so. That's a great idea. And I'll bet a lot of cities had that too. So if our listeners aren't in the Seattle area, I'll bet they could still probably find one for their area.
Yep.
Sweet.
How about you, Ryan?
Well, mine isn't so clever, and it's one that I definitely can't access right now. But it is fun a little bit to go back and revisit some old memories. So I'm going to recommend the Globe Theatre in London.
I've never been there.
No, you didn't go when you were there?
Mm-mm.
Okay. So the Globe Theatre, for those people who are not familiar, that's where Shakespeare is known for doing a lot of his shows. Now, the Globe Theatre that's in London is not the original Globe. That's not the Globe that Shakespeare, had his shows performed in back in the day. It's a recreation of the Globe.
Okay.
But it's rebuilt, to the best of our knowledge, in the same way that the Globe was built. And they have like a museum, and you can tour it, and they actually do shows. Probably not right now. Although I was on their website, and it looked like maybe they're starting the shows because it's technically open air. So there's no roof over the main part of it. So it's a circle. So it's around. And then there's places to stand and to sit kind of in a covered area around the circumference of the circle, but then there's no cover that goes over the whole thing. And so if you are standing on kind of like on the floor, then you look up, then you're just seeing the sky. So I think they might be considering maybe running some shows where people are socially distanced there, because it is technically outdoors. So, but I'm not 100% sure on this. I can't tell. But I'm not there right now either. So, but it was really cool. This is I think I shared on the podcast earlier, one of the things that I wished that I hadn't done in the past, which was I missed a flight.
Yes.
Yep. So the morning that I was in London and the morning we were leaving, I went to the Globe Theatre because I wanted to go, and my cousin didn't have a lot of interest. And so I got up, he was still sleeping. I went to the Globe, like I'd found where to go on the tube, took the tube out, did the tour, and came back, and I had calculated that I had just enough time that when I got back, I would have already been packed, and then we could just grab our stuff and go to the flight. And so I went and I saw the Globe, and it was awesome, and I enjoyed it, and I came back, and my cousin was still asleep, and we missed the flight.
Boo.
But I did get to see the Globe, and it was fun. And so that would be a place that if you end up in London, I think would be fun to see. It's very fun.
So, Ryan.
Yes, Cheryl.
Is it worth missing a flight over?
No. But that's not why we missed the flight.
I know.
But no, I wouldn't say it's worth missing a flight. Well, I guess it depends on your personality. For someone like me, no, because it stresses me out to then have to fly standby. Like that is the worst thing in the world to me, because nothing is guaranteed and you never know what's going to happen. Even though I know in my head it's going to work out and it'll be fine, it still raises my stress level. There are other people who that would not really faze them. They would be totally fine flying standby. It wouldn't be a super big deal, in which case maybe it would be if they are interested in theater or history or English or both or all three.
Okay.
Long
Cool.
answer to your question.
So, almost worth missing a flight over then.
Almost, depending on who you are.
Yeah.
We would love it if you, our listeners, would follow us on social media. We are at TimWe Podcast. That's TMWI for Take Me With You Podcast. We are on Instagram and Facebook and Twitter.
You can also email us at timwepodcast@gmail.com. Send us what I should do while I am in Hawaii. That's it.
Absolutely. Yes. We need recommendations. We've got some time before Cheryl's trip, so we would love to hear from you. If you've been to the Big Island, what's the thing to do or maybe to not do? Or maybe have a food recommendation for Cheryl, because right now we're going blind. She would love a food recommendation. So why don't you call us and leave us a voicemail sharing about that cool recommendation? You can do that at 406-763-8699, or if it's easier to remember, 406-POD-TIMWE. We'd also appreciate it if you would rate and review our podcast to tell other people what you think about it, share about our podcast on your social media, and subscribe to make sure you don't miss an episode.
As always, thank you to Beth Reed Miller for the awesome artwork. You can check out more of Beth's artwork at Beth Is Something. And thank you to Erica Corbin for the use of her song Round the Globe. You can listen to Erica's music wherever music is sold or streamed.
Cheryl, I'm excited for your trip.
Yay!
But until then, remember to take me with you.
Take me with you.
But like, actually, would you take me with you to Hawaii? I want to go to the Big Island.
No.
Can we get a sailboat chasing down the sunset as we float round and round the globe? Salty air and balmy nights, guided only by the lights above, and light little love. Oh, the world is out there waiting to explore, and all our troubles here wanting to be